arms work just as hard as our legs. Fire up your triceps.
Your hips are dipping, always the option to come down to the knee.
Not as a weakness, but as a sense of strength, something that's empowering.
Namaste.
Hi yogis, Katy here. We are going to be working today with a full length flow, and today's peak pose is going to be revolved or twisted hand to foot pose. So we're going to be doing some twisting today, a lot of heart opening, a lot of hamstring stretching, and some balance work too. I definitely recommend having a strap handy for sure. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's okay. You can use like a belt or the loop from like a robe, anything that's long, or like a scarf or something, that's fine too. Also, if you have tight hamstrings, it would probably be helpful to have at least one block. Otherwise, you probably don't need it too much. So. That being said, today we're going to start on our backs with our strap within reaching distance, and just start laying down however you feel comfortable. So that could be like Shavasana, arms and legs long. You could do knees bent, feet on the floor, soles of feet together, knees open wide. And just letting your body find a comfortable resting position to start. Once you get settled in, start to take smaller adjustments. You can kind of untuck your shoulders or change the tilt of your tailbone so that your low back feels a little more grounded. Then just start to bring your awareness a little bit more to present, focusing in on your breaths. Every inhale, feeling yourself fill up and inflate. Every exhale, feeling yourself release and relax. Each breath in, a reminder to be right here, right now. Each breath out, a chance to let go of any distractions, expectations, or obligations. And as you move on your mat, remember that that's the real purpose of yoga, is just to connect to yourself, your breath, your body. In this moment, not about what shapes we do or don't make in our body. With that in mind, take another big, full, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. And start to find some organic movements to your body. So whatever you feel like you need today, it might be just wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe it's a big, full, long body stretch. You could windshield wiper your legs side to side, stretch out the hips a little bit, or hug your knees into your chest. Really, anything goes. Starting to notice where you might feel tight, tense, or need to let go today. And once you've kind of found those little wiggles, you're gonna take your strap and then start to bring your right knee in towards your chest. We're gonna take the bottom of the strap along, the strap along the bottom of the foot, somewhere in between the arch and the ball of the foot. And then you'll wanna extend your right leg as straight as feels comfortable. So you wanna feel the hamstring in the back of the leg stretch. You don't wanna force the leg straight, just locking out the knee. That's gonna strain your knee joint, and it's not gonna stretch the muscles as effectively either. So just finding that happy medium where your knee is soft. And then if you want more pressure or more stretch, you can put a little bit of pressure on the strap with your hands by pulling gently in or flexing your toes towards your face. Your left foot can stay on the floor, or you can extend your left leg long. Just depends on how your low back and your hips feel today. So from here, getting a few breaths with that leg just extended up straight, feeling the right hamstring stretch. Then take both sides of the strap into your right hand and start to drop the right leg over to the right side. Now you can put the right elbow on the floor, opening up. Keep the left shoulder grounded so that we're feeling a little bit of stretch in the hip. We're not just rocking onto the side. Getting maybe a little bit of chest stretch here too. Still feeling that hamstring stretching and opening, and then slowly taking the foot back into center. Keep the strap around the same foot. Just switch the strap into the other hand. This time, right shoulder stays down. Taking the leg across. Now I already feel my hamstring getting really tight, so I could just stop here, or if you want to kind of give yourself a little bit more strap, the angle of your leg is going to change, and that's okay. If you prefer to keep the leg and get a little bit more hip stretch, keep the leg more at a perpendicular angle to your body, you can just give yourself a little bit more strap, but try to avoid just rolling to the side. So right shoulder stays grounded down, taking a few breaths there, and then come all the way back to center. Release the strap from around your foot. Maybe bring both knees into your chest, little gentle rock and roll. Feel the difference between your legs, between your sides, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So taking the strap around the bottom of the left foot this time. Again, starting with that leg just extended up in the air, finding that happy medium where we feel maybe the calf, the hamstring, the Achilles stretch a little bit, taking several breaths here. And then when you're ready, taking both straps into the left hand, starting to open that leg up to the side. Again, you can leave the foot on the floor or you can extend the leg long. Just listen to your hips, your low back. Feel the inner hips start to stretch and open, still getting a little bit of hamstring stretch as well. And watch the foot too, because a lot of times the foot will start to kind of just flop around and get lazy. Keep your foot engaged so that you're really getting the most out of the stretch. Come back to center, switch the straps in to the other hand, and start to go across the body. Again, leaving this left shoulder down. You might even extend the arm out depending on how your neck feels. You can look over towards your shoulder or your extended arm, getting a little bit more stretch through the chest and the neck. Coming back to center after a few breaths. Again, remove the strap, take a little rock and roll or long body stretch, and then eventually rock your way up to a seat. Now, from here, we're not quite done with the strap yet. Take your legs long, like you would for Paschimottanasana or a seated forward fold. And again, rather than locking out the knees, find a sense of straight legs, but still feeling a little bit of softness in the joint. Take your strap if you need it. Some of us might not need it. Lucky you. My hamstrings are really tight, so I probably need it today. Take it around the bottoms of your feet, and then try to keep your back as long and flat as you can. So almost thinking like a halfway lift through your back, roll your shoulders down your back. Let the forward fold come from your hips. So we're really stretching those hamstrings. So this is really about as far as I would go. Maybe if I held for quite a while, I could get my hands comfortably all the way down, keeping my back flat, but this is where I am right now. So every inhale, think about lengthening through your spine, lifting through the crown of your head. Every exhale, hinging a little bit more through the hips. So don't take it so fast that we start to round and collapse, because we're really trying to get those hamstrings open. It'll come in handy later on. Just one more breath in, and one more breath out. And then start to remove your strap, maybe shake out your legs a little bit, because that's a lot on the hamstrings. And then make your way into cat-cow. So coming onto hands and knees. If you need a blanket under the knees, you can always use one, or a towel or anything else you have. So starting with a nice long flat back, then you'll inhale to cow pose, dropping your belly, gazing forward, open your chest and your tail up. Exhale, cat, curl and round, arch your back. Inhale, cow, let your belly sway and stretch. Exhale, cat, curl, round, contract. And keep going with your own breath pace. We'll be here for several more breaths. You can always change up these movements too if you want to take like little side stretches, if you want to stretch your wrists out a little bit, maybe do a little bit of foot stretch or some child's pose. Anything that feels good in your body. It doesn't even have to be an official yoga thing, just do it. Again, taking this opportunity at the beginning of your practice to see where you need to start letting go. Then from here, back to a tabletop. Take a big full deep breath in. And exhale your way to downward facing dog. So notice in this down dog, you may feel like a little head start, like your hamstrings are already more open than they typically are in your first down dog of class. That's because we just did a bunch of hamstring stretching, go figure. All right, so pedaling it out, feeling those hamstrings open. If we want some more chest opening, you can always bend the knees a little bit, sink the heart towards the shins or the thighs, opening up through the front side and upper back. Take another full breath in your down dog wherever you are, and a full breath out. And on your next inhale, start to look forward. As you exhale, walk your way up to the top of your mat. Try taking small steps for a change today so you get a little bit of hamstring stretch on the way there. And meet in a ragdoll. So feet at least hip width distance apart. Sometimes hip width is deceptive, especially for women. They think that their hips are like super wide out for some reason. It's about 2 fist widths distance. So if you put 2 fists in between your hands, that's about hip width distance. For ragdoll, lots of options. We can let the arms dangle. We can grab opposite elbows. Interlace the hands behind the head and neck. And if your hamstrings are still feeling a little tight, just bend your knees. You can take some gentle motion if you want. Shake your head yes and no. Wiggle your toes. Then from here, gently release your hands down if they're not already. Shimmy your feet to a standing width distance. So that could be hip width distance apart still, or maybe big toes touch with a 1/4 inch or so between the heels. Then on your next breath in, coming all the way up to stand. From here, we'll take hands together at heart center and close your eyes. And take this opportunity to set an intention for your practice, something that's going to keep you focused, motivated while you move on your mat today. Whatever that thing is, keeping you inspired. Take a big full deep breath in, seal it in your heart. And exhale, let it go. Another breath in together. And exhale, let it out. Really nice. Flutter your eyes open, and we'll make our way to mountain pose. So arms come up overhead. If you feel like you need to kind of adjust your stance or bend the elbows a little bit, a lot of times the shoulders are tight. When I first started yoga, my lats were so tight. This was like where my mountain pose was. So you want to be able to have enough extension in your arms that you feel some stretch, but not so much that you're like creaking your neck, all right? So shoulder blades plug down. If that means we have to bend the elbows a little bit to do so, no problem, go for it. Take a big full deep breath in your mountain pose, and then exhale your way to a forward fold. You can either take hands throughout heart center or a swan dive, relax your head and neck at the bottom. Inhale, lift halfway, nice long flat back. Weight is more towards the balls of our feet than our heels. Exhale, high plank. Plant your hands, step back, top of a push-up pose. Now you've probably heard me say this before if you've watched my videos. You can come down to your knees for a little bit more core support, or if your low back or hips feel tight today, always a great option. So anytime you want to come down to knees in high plank, go for it, even if I don't say it. Take a big full deep breath in your high plank. As you exhale, shift forward, lower all the way down to your tummy. Again, you can come to the knees if you want. From here, we're going to do a little inner shoulder stretch. We're going to take your right arm out to a T, right at shoulder height. So you can either do palm face down or palm face up. It's up to you. I've heard palm face down is more intense, but to me actually palm face up feels a little more intense, so do what works for you, all right? Feel it out. Everybody's body's different. From here, you're gonna gently roll over onto your right side and start to feel the front side of your chest stretch. Relax your head and neck if possible. If we're too tight and can't get the head and neck to the ground, this is a great opportunity for a block or a blanket. Otherwise, if we don't need it, no worries, just let yourself relax. Breathe into the chest, and notice if you roll too far and the hand starts to kind of go down here, just back out of it a little bit, bring the hand back up to shoulder height. One more breath in, and exhale, start to come back to center. Switching sides, so left arm this time comes out to a T right at shoulder height, rolling on to the left side. Option if you want to, we could have done this on the other side too, but you can see it better on this side, to loop the hand around the low back if you want, so getting a little bit more chest stretch here. Just breathing into that space through the front of the left shoulder, front side of the chest, making our twist a little easier later. Take another breath in, and exhale back to center. Once you're down on your belly, both hands in by your chest, balls of the feet back to the floor. Inhale, either pressing straight up to high plank or all fours if you prefer. And exhale your way to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. From here, inhale, look ahead. Exhale, step or hop your way up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, long flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Arms come up overhead. Adding on this time through. Exhale, open twist. You're going to take your right arm in front of you, left arm behind you, opening up through your chest. If you want a little bit more neck stretch, you can peek over that left shoulder, getting a little bit more stretch. On your next breath in, coming back to center mountain pose, reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to get the other side next time, don't worry. Inhale, lift halfway, long flat back. Exhale, chaturanga if you're ready for it. Plant your hands, step back to a high plank, shift forward, lower down, halfway stop. Flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. If we're new to chaturanga, be sure to check out the chaturanga tutorial videos. It'll show you some modifications. Inhale, look ahead. Exhale, step or hop your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Arms come up overhead. Adding on that other side twist. Exhale, reaching the left arm forward, right arm back. So notice my hips aren't moving a ton. I'm not trying to like twist as deeply as I can, and obviously I'm exaggerating, but throwing my hips off center. Try to keep your hips relatively forward. You might get a little bit of twist there, but as much as we can, stretching through the chest and upper back instead. Inhale, back up to center, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Relax your head and neck on the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. So one modification real quick is we can just hold our high plank while we breathe in, skip the up dog, not a big deal, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up high, and then notice what happens when that right leg lifts. If you start to kind of compensate by tilting into your left side, try to even out the weights using the muscles in your upper back, your chest, your belly. Take another breath in. And exhale, low lunge. Start to bring that right leg all the way forward. And know too that it's okay if we take several steps or we even help the leg up with our arm. From here, inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up, shoulders over hips, arms overhead. Hold and breathe. Notice the hips. If the left hip's starting to dip, press more into the ball of the left foot so that we fire up that left quad and the hips can kind of level out. Lift up through your shoulders, but relax the shoulders down the back. And just like we talked about in mountain pose, if that means bending the elbows, bend the elbows, that's great. Take another big full deep breath in. And exhale to modified pyramid. We're gonna straighten through the right leg and fold forward, keeping the back long and flat, like we did in that forward fold with a strap. That might mean some of us might want blocks, so you can take your blocks on either side of your leg. Also now in this slower hold, we can place the left heel down on the ground for a little bit more balance support. While we flow, probably not gonna have time to make that transition, so that's why we call it modified pyramid. Just like we did in that forward fold with the strap, every breath in, finding a nice long flat back. Every breath out, hinging a little deeper from the hips. Notice if the left hip wants to kind of pop up, keep squaring it down. Good, then on your next inhale, we're gonna come all the way back up to crescent lunge. If we stepped the left foot in, just make sure we step it back. Coming up, arms overhead. One more inhale. And exhale your way to warrior two. Spin the left heel down to the ground. Most of us are gonna have a little bit longer warrior two stance than we do crescent lunge, so you can just shimmy your feet a little further apart. Sink into the hips. Keep the right knee stacked over the right ankle. We don't want it to go too far past, or it can be a little bit behind. Opening up more space in the hips and more space in the heart. Arms come parallel to the ground. Relax your shoulders down your back. Keep your lower half the same. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back through the back palm. Start thinking lifting up through the chest first and then hinging your way back. So you want to keep both sides of your rib cage really engaged. One more full breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Right arm comes down, either resting on top of the right thigh or it can go inside. Peel this left shoulder, open, down and back. So this is something I've been talking about recently in my classes. We have a tendency to kind of let the top shoulder hang down. Open up through the chest. I'll show it through the front side too so you can see. Then on your next inhale, back to reverse warrior, using the core. So legs don't change, just reaching up and back. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands come down to the ground. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Hold and breathe. Keep sinking that right heel down to the ground so that the hamstring continues to stretch. Project that left heel high, high, high. Take another breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Bring the foot forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up to center. Think about hugging your inner thighs together, lifting you up, feeling the pelvic floor, the belly engage. Good. Then reaching up through the fingertips, keep the fingers active. Sometimes our hands just kind of want to get lazy and hang out. Everything is engaged towards center. Take a big full deep breath in. Exhale, modified pyramid. So straightening through that left leg. Again, long flat back while we hold. So just like we talked about in the first hamstring stretches we did, it's much better to have a little gentle bend in this knee rather than just locking out the joint. You don't get as much of a stretch and you're putting strain on your joint. So if we need to find blocks or if we need to step the back foot in, whatever we need to do to accommodate actually stretching the hamstring, as opposed to just forcing a pose on our body that's maybe not gonna work right now in this moment. Do that, okay? Then inhale slowly back up to crescent lunge. Again, adjust that back foot if we put it down. Take a big breath in once you get there. And exhale to warrior two. Pivot your right heel down. Shimmy your stance out as needed. Opening up, again, space through the heart. So this back shoulder is always the one we kind of got to watch, because we want to keep drawing our attention forward. Roll your shoulders open. Think about that inner shoulder stretch we did on the ground. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back. Now, almost always, this front leg wants to straighten a little bit because we're thinking about drawing our energy back. Instead of doing that, sink into your front leg. Keep this front thigh really active. Let your side body, your core, your obliques, lengthen your upper body instead. Take a full breath in. And exhale, extended side angle. So this is what I was talking about on the other side that you might not have been able to see as well, is we tend to want to let this shoulder drop. We lose all the activation through our core, and we lose the chest stretch. So instead of doing that, peel the shoulder down and back, like you're opening your heart to the wall or whatever it is that's in front of you, probably a screen since you're watching this on something, I'm guessing. So opening your chest towards me, using that little bit of leverage between your arm and your leg. You can reach up or arm overhead. Then keeping your lower half the same. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, chaturanga, hands to the mat, step the left foot back, lower down, stop. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. So from here, we're gonna flow a little bit faster, breath to movement. Always feel free to go faster or slower than I talk. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Exhale, low lunge. Start to sweep it through to the top of your mat. Inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Pull your inner thighs to center. Exhale, modified pyramid. Straighten through your right leg. Keep your back long as you fold towards the shin. Inhale, back up to crescent lunge. Bend your right knee once again. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot your left heel down. Lengthen your stance. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep your right knee low. Reach up and back. Exhale, extended side angle. Open up through your chest. Keep your left shoulder rolled down and back. Inhale, back to reverse warrior. Extend through your chest. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands to the ground. Step your foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Take it through to the top. Inhale, crescent lunge. Pull everything into midline as you rise up strong. Exhale, modified pyramid. Folding forward. Take your time, especially if you need blocks. Inhale, back up to crescent lunge. Bend your left knee once again. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot your foot to the ground. Open your hips and heart. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lengthen through both sides of your body. Exhale, extended side angle, finding more space through your chest. Inhale, back to reverse warrior. Use your core to transition. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. From here, we're gonna add in a few things, so just keep your ears open. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Take it through to the top. Inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up to center. Exhale, modified pyramid. Straighten your right leg, fold forward. Inhale, back up to crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot your foot to the ground. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, star pose. Here's where we change. I'm gonna turn around so that I can see you guys. All right, so star pose. We go heels in, toes out, arms up. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. You're just gonna pivot your way forward. Now for me, I prefer to parallel my feet with the short edges of my mat rather than turning my toes out because my ankles are a little sensitive. So you do what works for you. From here, relaxing your head and neck. Just like in our halfway lift and forward fold in our Sun-A, shifting the weight more towards the balls of your feet, less resting in your heels. Gentle bend in the knees if the hamstrings need it. Try to let your head and neck relax. Then a few breaths on your own. So if you want to kind of bend side to side, we're going to do a twist together here in a second. But anything else you feel like you need, kind of rock it out, whatever you want. Take a couple more breaths. And then from here, you're gonna plant your right hand, sorry guys, right hand down in front of you. Inhale, Prasarita, open twist. So wide-legged fold, open twist, opening up more space in your chest. Think about that mountain pose open twist we did. So less trying to twist the hips or bending the knees. Try to keep the sacrum level. Let the opening come from the chest, the upper back. Take another breath in. And exhale, slowly coming back to center. We're gonna do the other twist next time, other side next time. I'm gonna pivot around so that we're on the right side again. From your halfway lift, or from your forward fold, find a halfway lift, exhale your way to low lunge. So you're gonna pivot your feet to face forward. Now, draw everything into center because there's a big balance change coming. Inhale all the way up to one-legged mountain pose. See if you can bring that left knee in line with the left hip. Stand all the way up to center. Ankle is under the knee, flex the toes up to the sky. Now, modification, if we can't quite make it all the way up from our low lunge, we're gonna go low lunge to like a little halfway forward fold type thing, and then stand up. So using that little pivot at the center, that little rest point, flex everything into your belly, relax your shoulders, take another big full deep breath in, and exhale, forward fold, both feet to the ground, relax your head and neck. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, or remember, always the option to skip it. You can just hold high plank and go straight to down dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, take it through to the top. Inhale, crescent lunge, come up strong. Exhale, modified pyramid. Feel how much space you created in your hamstrings. Inhale, back to your crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Sink into your hips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, back to, inhale, star pose. That's where we're headed next. And exhale, back to that wide-legged forward fold. So again, a couple breaths on your own if you need it. Just kind of dipping into the hips, stretching the hamstrings, whatever you need. And then we're gonna plant our left hand on the ground this time. Inhale, Prasarita twist, lifting that right arm up. Now I can already feel my left hip wants to dip down, so I'm gonna bring the hips back to center, even though that means on this side, you probably noticed, I twist considerably less. This is my tighter side. So just accept where you are, breathe into that space. One more inhale, exhale, back to your Prasarita. Inhale, find a halfway lift, bring your head in line with your hips. Exhale, low lunge, pivot your way forward. So you know what's coming now because we already did on the other side. So find a focal point for your mind, for your eyes, hug your belly in and up, then find a steady mind, steady focus, all the way up to your one-legged mountain pose. Again, if we need to rest the foot on the floor and then bring it up, totally fine as well. Flex your left toes up towards the sky. Good. Hug everything into center. Relax your shoulders. Take a big full deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, both feet to the floor. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, hands to the mat. Shift forward, lower down. Inhale, up dog, really press into the tops of your feet. Roll your shoulders down your back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. One more breath in together. And exhale, let it go. Good job. Now we're gonna come down to our mat for a little bit of core work. Yay. All right, so now we're gonna get into some core work. So when you're ready, come on down to your back, and we're gonna start with rope climbers today. So for rope climbers, we take our legs up the invisible wall, find some kind of action in your feet. So you can flex them, point them, Barbie feet, whatever you want, but have some activity there. And then think about having something in between your inner thighs you're having to squeeze towards center. You can even, if you want, if you have a block, you can take a block in between your legs and actually hold the block there while you do these two. It's up to you. So finding inner thigh activation, feet activation. Take a big full deep breath in. Just like there's a rope hanging down from the ceiling, you're gonna lift one shoulder blade off the mat and the other one over. Now we can come all the way down and kind of rest from side to side. Or if you want more challenge, keep both shoulder blades off the mat the whole time and finding more of a pull side to side. So your upper abs really never stop working. You're gonna keep climbing that rope. Again, keep the feet active, the inner thighs active. Stay breathing for the last 8, 7, 6, 5, reach a little higher, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down, quick release. That could be a long body stretch. It could be rocking and rolling, knees to chest, whatever you want to just kind of shake it off and forget it happened. Then from here, we're gonna do leg lowers. So again, same thing with the legs, up in the air, activation in the feet and inner thighs. I personally like to tuck my hands under my hips for a little bit more low back support. If you prefer arms out to the side, that's totally fine too. You're gonna take a big full deep breath in. As you exhale, lower your legs, slow and controlled, until you start to feel maybe your low back lift off the mat. Once you feel that sensation, you come all the way back up to center. Try to make your lower slower than your lift, especially the closer your legs get to the floor, the more challenging it's gonna be. It's not about how many we do or how fast we do these, it's about the control of the lower abdominal muscles. So really feeling that little V shape right above where your hip bones are, feeling those muscles start to work. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, relax. Again, shake it off. Now, last exercise we're gonna do, we're gonna have 2 levels. So the first one is gonna be an opposite leg sit-up. I know probably not all of us do sit-ups, and that's okay. So stay tuned for a modification if you don't do sit-ups. Those of us who are doing the opposite leg sit-ups, you're gonna take your feet about mat width distance apart, arms up overhead. Take a big full deep breath in. As you exhale, sit all the way up, reach for one set of toes, maybe even feel a little bit of hamstring stretch along the way. Come back down, sit up, and stretch. If that's what you're doing, keep going with that option. Those of us who are not doing sit-ups today, bicycle crunches, shins parallel to the floor, knees over the hips. Take your elbow towards the opposite knee, back to center, and switch. Option to extend the leg that we're not twisting towards. Now on these, make sure we're doing elbows to knees and not knees to elbows, okay? This is not gonna work your core. It's just gonna kind of work your hip flexors, which is not what we're trying to do right now, all right? So making sure we're using elbows to knees. Those of us doing the opposite leg sit-ups, keep going. We're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, good jobs. You can take a long body stretch, knees to chest, whatever you need to do. Now, I'm gonna do a quick demo of where we're headed in this next standing flow, because our peak posture day is a balanced posture. So I know, especially when you're at home and you're trying to watch a screen, it's really hard to look at something and losing your focus and trying to balance and all that. It's probably best if you don't even watch the screen while we're doing the balance pose, if you just listen to the words that I'm saying instead. As much as Adrian's videography is beautiful and you don't want to miss it. But our balance pose today that we're working towards, let me find my strap, is hand to opposite foot pose, or revolved hand to opposite foot pose. There's a lot of names for it. Anyway, you're taking your hand across the opposite foot. So we're coming to one-legged mountain. From here, option, add a twist. This might be where some of us work. Some of us might stay in one-legged mountain, that's fine too. You can take the opposite hand across to the outer thigh. Use it as a little bit of leverage to find more opening through your chest. Maybe even peek over your shoulder towards your back hand. If we're doing this option, make sure we don't start to pull the knee in towards center, because I see that happen quite a bit. Another option from the one-legged mountain, doing the twist, is maybe taking the hand instead of to the outer thigh, to the outer edge of the foot, extending the leg forward. Now you'll notice my leg doesn't want to go completely straight. I've got tight hamstrings. So we can take the strap around the bottom of the foot, find our twist, use the strap as an extension of our arm to get the leg a little bit straighter while we're doing the twist, okay? So those are all different layers. You can try any of them, none of them, whatever you want. This is your practice. If you do feel like you want to try an option with a strap, have the strap towards the top of your mat so that it's handy while you want to use it. So now we have an idea of where we're headed. Let's give it a shot. We're going to meet back in down dog. Take a big full deep breath in. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Take it through to the top of your mat. Inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up to center. Changing it up this time. Exhale, hands together at your heart. As you inhale, start to lean forward. Exhale, revolve, crescent lunge. Start to take your left elbow across towards your outer right thigh. Now, a couple modifications. If we have low back injuries, might be pregnant, just don't want to twist so far today, take an open twist from your crescent lunge instead, so shoulders over hips. Those of us who feel a little off balance, we can come down to the back knee, focus a little bit more on the twist, a little less on the balance today. So all of those are great options. Any variation we're doing, trying to open up more space through the chest, leveling out the hips, that left hip may want to dip. Pull the belly in and up away from the thigh. As you inhale, come all the way back up to center. Exhale, modified pyramid, straighten through the right leg. Start to fold forward towards the right shin. Then from here, find a gentle bend in your right knee. Inhale, standing split. Start to lift that left leg up, up, up. Now, even if we're right here, we're still in standing splits, okay? Practicing balancing on one leg. Two options in standing splits. Flexibility challenge, bringing the forehead closer to the shin, using the hands on the floor to support you. Balance challenge, maybe seeing if we can lift one hand, maybe both hands, come to the calf. Holding and breathing just for 3, for 2, one more breath in, and exhale back to your low lunge. Land your left foot softly on the floor behind you. Inhale up to crescent lunge, come all the way up to center, hold and breathe. Exhale, warrior 2. Pivot your heel to the ground, open up your stance. Inhale, star pose, heels in, toes out, arms up. Exhale, Skandasana, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman towards the back side of your mat. So you're gonna bend your left leg. I know, sorry, I'm not facing you right now. Okay, but I have to go to low lunge, so we gotta make this work, all right? So, chest stays lifted, avoid rounding forward. We may have hands on the floor. We may start to lift our arms up. Worst case scenario, we bail out, fall on our butt, okay? So, sinking into the hips, one more breath in. Exhale your way to low lunge. Start to creep your way forward. Now, here comes our balance challenge. Inhale all the way up to one-legged mountain pose. Remember, we can stop here if we need to. Bring the left knee up in line with the left hip. Option to explore. Remember all those options. We can add the open twist. We can take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. We can peek over our left shoulder. We can grab the outside of our foot or take our strap. Extending wherever we are. One more breath in. And exhale your way to forward fold. Both feet on the floor. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands to the mat. Step back, lower down, step. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, take it through to the top. Inhale, crescent lunge, come all the way up to center. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, revolve, crescent lunge. Or any of those other options we covered the first time. Roll the shoulder down and back. Think about bringing your hands more in line with your heart as you deepen your twist. Every inhale, lengthen through your spine. Every exhale, deepen through your twist. Pulling the belly in and up away from the thigh. Inhale all the way back up to crescent lunge. Take your time. Exhale, modified pyramid. Straighten the left leg. Fold forward. Then, gentle bend in the left knee. Inhale up to standing splits. Again, doesn't matter how high we lift. Feel that hamstring stretch. Project, project, project through the right leg. Maybe trying on some of those balance options or bringing the forehead closer to the shin. Good. Holding and breathing for 4, 3, 2, and exhale, softly landing in your low lunge. Inhale back up to crescent lunge, arms up overhead. Exhale, warrior 2, pivot your heel down. Inhale, star pose, heels in, toes out, arms up. Exhale, Skandasana. So now you can see me sinking into our right leg all the way down. Now a few things I can show you on this side now that we can see each other. This heel, this right heel, may or may not be lifted, okay? So if we want a little bit more balance practice, maybe the heel is off the ground. Those of us who want some more hip opening, I think this is my weak side that I can't do it on, but we can sink into the heel, trying to keep the chest up better than I'm doing. It's a lot more intensive in the hips, okay? So whichever one you want to do, I'm going to go with this option today. We're going to take one more breath in and exhale your way to low lunge. Start to pivot your feet forward, frame your left foot with your hand. Prepare yourself, take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, one-legged mountain pose, coming all the way up to stand. Arms overhead, maybe this is where we stay. Maybe we start to twist. Maybe we take the hand across to the outer thigh or the hand across to the foot. Good, wherever we are, holding and breathing, maybe peeking over the shoulder. Nice, I don't think we did on the other side, but inhale back to one-legged mountain pose if we can. Exhale, forward fold, both feet on the ground. Relax your head and neck. This time we're gonna add in gorilla. So you're gonna separate your feet a little wider than hip width distance. Two options for gorilla. You can slide your hands, palms face up, underneath your feet, fingers go towards your heels. Relax your head and neck. If it makes us uncomfortable or nervous to stand on our hands, we can take our peace fingers, wrap them around the big toe instead. Either variation, elbows bend out wide, gentle bend in the knees, relax the head and neck. If you want, you can kind of shift the weight around your feet, especially if you're standing on your hands, kind of a nice little hand massage. Couple more breaths. Release any tension from the neck and shoulders. And slowly remove your hands one at a time. Plant your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Last chaturanga we do together today. Step your feet back, lower down step. Flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, half pigeon. Start to sweep your shin forward and left leg extends long behind you. Now, I feel like I've done half pigeon tutorials in the past, but they all kind of run together. So I don't know if I've covered this before. I think I have. But notice the angle of your shin towards the top of your mat. So it could be more at a 45, and that's fine. Those of us who have a little bit more open hips and our knee is okay with it, maybe it's more parallel to the top edge of our mat. Wherever you are, you want to feel the stretch in your outer right hip, not feel pain in your knee or your low back. You can come down to your forearms, your block, relax your head and neck. Wherever you are, breathing into the outer right hip. Every inhale, feeling like you could locate an area of tension or tightness, whether it's in your hips, your head, or your heart. Every exhale, letting go of that tension, that tightness with your breath. Take 4 more inhales and exhales on your own. Really count to your own breath. Don't go when I go or just because I'm talking about something else. After that 4th exhale, make your way back up to your palms. Start to tuck your back foot. Extend your right leg. Feel free to take any motions you want to take along the way. Eventually, we'll meet back in down dog together. If you want to stay there longer, just pause the video, not a big deal. Once you're back in your down dog, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, switch to the other side. So taking the left shin forward, coming down, extending the leg behind you. Definitely remember talking about the angle now in another video. So if you're curious about what the angle of the leg is supposed to look like, how it affects things, there's another half pigeon video, so go check it out. Otherwise, when you're ready, starting to fold forward. Noticing that this side most likely is different from the first side, whether it's tighter or more open, but just appreciating it for where it is, not trying to force yourself to do something just because you did it on the first side. Separate your top and bottom teeth away from each other. And notice now that your practice has slowed down, where your mind wants to take you. If you're starting to think about what's coming up next in your day, start thinking about things that have already happened. Come back to those breaths, just like we did at the beginning of class when we were laying on our backs, reminding yourself to be present with every breath in, letting go of distraction with every breath out. Then when you're ready, starting to walk your way back up to your palms, Extend your left leg out behind you. Again, finding any motions you want to take. Meeting back in your down dog, full breath in. And full breath out. And from here, start to make your way down to a seat. So once we're in seated, we're going to extend our legs out long in front of us. Now we're going to kind of revisit that first seated forward fold we did. So having the legs a little bit longer and straighter, trying to keep our back really flat. You can use the strap again if you want to. I encourage you to just see where you get without it. So keeping the back long and flat, take a breath in, and exhale, start to hinge from the hips, and then notice, okay. So I wasn't able to touch my feet when I did it the first time with the strap, and I'm not just faking it for the sake of this video, but I really wasn't. So after all of that hamstring stretching, now I can pretty comfortably get my hands to touch my feet, maybe not all the way around, but at least getting them much further than they were before. So noticing that progress, knowing that you made that change one breath at a time just by being on your mat today. Then inhale, coming all the way back up to a seat. If you want one last little bit of core challenge, you can kind of scoot yourself forward. Watch out if there's anything behind you. Lower slowly all the way down to your back, or you can just lay down, either way. Once you're down on your back, we're gonna make our way to happy baby. So take your knees out wide. You can grab for outside edges of your feet, outside edges of your calves, your thighs, wherever is accessible today. And then just like a little happy baby, do what feels good. You can rock side to side. You can notice the space in your hamstrings, straighten one or both legs. You can tap your heels together, give yourself a little foot massage, or just stay still. And again, feel free to stay as long as you want here. Once you've been the happiest human you can be today, hug both knees into your chest, give them a good squeeze. Keep your right knee hugged in, send your left leg all the way down to the ground. Inhale, hug your right knee in and up by your armpit. Exhale, supine twist. I've done videos on supine twist too. You'll see I kind of tuck my hip under because my hips feel a little bit not great when I just roll. So you do it however you want to do it. Start to take that right leg across. Now, think about this. This is exactly the pose we did while we were standing, revolving, hand on the outer thigh. If you want to, if you're feeling game for it, your hamstrings feel open, you can try grabbing the bottom of the foot, extending the leg. My foot doesn't want to do it, or my hamstring doesn't want to do it on this side, but if you want to go for that, you can. But just noticing this is the same stretch, just in a different plane. And we're not having to balance, so it's a little bit easier. Inhale back to center, both knees into your chest. Little rock and roll side to side. When you're ready to switch, extend the right leg long. Inhale, hug the left knee in and up. Exhale, supine twist. Again, I'm going to tuck my hip under. You don't have to. Maybe peeking over that left shoulder for a little gentle stretch. Again, try not to force anything here. Just let gravity do the work for you at this point. If you want to try to grab the outer edge of the foot and do the little stretch to the side, you can. Or if you even want to use your strap, you're really determined. I'm just ready to wind down. And when you're ready, coming back to center, knees into your chest. Give them a big full squeeze of gratitude. Take an inhale. And exhale, Shavasana. Let your arms and legs find a comfortable resting place. Just like we did at the beginning of class, take those small adjustments. Untuck your shoulders. Change the tilt of your tailbone if you need to. Allow your eyes to close. Relax the muscles in your face. Let your breath become natural and effortless. Whatever thoughts start to creep into your head, picture them floating to the back of your brain, resting there on your mat. You can choose to come back to them later if you want, or you can just leave them behind. Feel free to pause the video and stay here longer if you like. When you are ready to find some movement back in your body, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Gradually finding bigger movements in larger joints. Sealing your practice however you like. Maybe that's a long body stretch, knees to your chest, or something else. Eventually rock on to your favorite side. And take this opportunity to thank yourself for your practice, to acknowledge your strength, your power, both inside and out. As you're ready, press your way up to a comfortable seat. We'll meet and seated with our eyes closed and hands at heart center. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to practice with me wherever, whenever you are. The highest and brightest in me honors and bows to the highest and brightest in you. So bring our hands to third eye center and bow forward to each other. Namaste. Awesome practice today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out my video and for being a patron. If you haven't checked out the other videos that I have, please go do so. There's some other great full-length flows and lots of tutorials and other good stuff. And please let me know if you have requests or suggestions. And if you enjoy what I'm doing here, please share this link with your friends. Have a great day and namaste.